Hey, so I'm getting evicted from my studio. This is great. Well, I'm not technically getting evicted. It's becoming the kid's bedroom. So lots of things moving around, lots of busy work that I have to do. Lots more has to be done with the website. Lots more has to be done with the room that's behind me. This is a public stream right now. I forgot to set it to private, and I was just like, whatever. Um, So my youngest is up right now, and he's deciding to make a mess over there. So that's fun. It's been a very exhausting week for me personally. The last few weeks have my wife has really been struggling a lot with some structural issues, and it's been rough for her. And lack of sleep for me, and just all sorts of fun nonsense. So, anyways. I appreciate you being here and for watching. Um, and here he comes now. But buddy, you're supposed to stay off of the video. Yeah, so you got to stay down there. Mama does not want you on YouTube. So, a few things that I want to bring up. Careful, buddy, your apple ran away. I've got some different things that I've been working on that I want to show you. This is just a general update, and also I'm going to show you the absolute tragedy in my office here in a second. I'm going to bring up my media assets, and we're going to show you, whoops. I don't like how it always wants to reorganize everything instead of scrolling. Let me go get my mouse real quick. Yeah. So the structural issues, Alex, is she has fibromyalgia, and her sciatic just gives her a horrible time pretty much all the time. A lot of it actually extends from her spinal column, which she is currently getting corrected by somebody that is very proficient in a treatment that's kind of like chiropractic work, kind of, but its focus is more so on the spine, and it deals more with the underlying problems, not the side effects, which is awesome. It's called ABC, Advanced Biostructural Correction. So if you get a chance to check that out, you may have a practitioner in your area, and it can do wonders. So let me go grab my mouse real quick, and I'll be right back. And there's nothing for you guys to watch in the meantime. I'll let you guys look at a picture real quick, the one that I made for Brian Ross, because it's finally done. So let me... Is it going to let me scroll? Yes. All right, here we go. Look out, pal. I'll also probably show you some things that I want to put on the new bookshelf that we're getting. So, are you waving to peoples? I don't know if they can see you, my boo. Oh, there goes Daddy's mouse. Buddy, you're still dropping your apple. This is also, hang on a second. This is also another big reason why I'm exhausted, because you don't like to go to sleep. Are you gonna be able to sit on my lap without showing up? His fuzzy little head. You're gonna wave, boo boo. Stick your hand way up in the air. It'll have to not be in your mouth though. All right, so let's see. So this, oh, now he waving. I'm gonna pick your hand up. There's your little hand. You silly boy. Mama does not want you on YouTube though, so. All right, so this is the graphic that I made for Brian Ross. It expresses his idea of the textual transmission turnpike, he's calling it. And the idea, I went over this with the co-conspirators last week. The idea is that the textual stream is supposed to be expressed by a highway in which you have the core witnesses, which are on the top. That's the yellow car, represented by basically the King James text type. Then you have mixed text, such as the Latin Vulgate, the Gothic, things like that. And then on the sides, off the road, he puts the basically the Alexandrian witnesses. So I would like to talk to him sometime. Maybe he's watching this stream. I don't know, but and I'm not very well versed in majority text arguments. That's one thing that I should probably talk to Dwayne Green about. I did find his interview with, I believe, what was his name, Maurice Robinson, I believe it was. I found the interview that he did with him very interesting, and that seems that there actually is an argument for the majority text. Which, if you listen to modern text critics, then you end up thinking that there's absolutely no argument for it whatsoever. But the thing is that it's strange that all of the early texts seem to, you know, from what I've heard, and I'm, like I said, this is a channel where I am on a journey of learning, and it's a long one. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, so the red cars down here, that's like all of the ancient witness in my mind right now. So I'm just like, okay, so all of the ancient witness is off the road for some reason. And excuse me. So far, Brian is making the distinction. Substantial doctrinal agreement, I believe, is the term that he's using. So I would also say that these are not in substantial doctrinal disagreement with the ones up here. So it's like it's still bye bye boo boo. You leaving? No, you want to come back up? Okay. Is you gonna leave again? You silly boy. You leaving? You see end? You're a goof. All right. So I don't know if I swallow the textual turnpike theory at this point. I'm still working on it in my mind. The graphic is done, but I'm still trying to figure it out. It is a much better representation of reality, I think, than the two streams of manuscripts idea. That is absolutely bogus. And thanks a lot to what's his face, Wilkerson, Benjamin Wilkerson, or Wilkinson, for the cross and the switchblade had nothing to do with it. Sorry about that. The cross and the switchblade had nothing to do with the two streams of manuscripts ideas. But anyways, this seems to be a better theory. But the thing is that from like the James White perspective or whatever, which I have been devouring over the last several months, just trying to learn his position and what he says and everything, and it's very convincing. That as the text goes through time, it picks up the different things that we would see as omissions, as you know, as a King James majority text advocate, you would see as omissions. Okay, Jacob. No, and you can't have the cookie right now. Not right now. Maybe you have that. You can have that. Yeah. You're a silly boy. You need to be going to bed. I'll hold you. So, anyways, that's the story with that. It's going to be in a new book that he's making up right now. It's part of his series on inspiration and preservation. So, yeah, I think it'll be interesting. He also has me right now. He's got me into working on the front cover a little bit too, touching it up some things, shifting things around, things like this. So that'll be fun. And I need to look at those files tonight, so this stream can't be too long. So let me see. We've been going for about 11 minutes. Not bad. Let me see if my mouse is going to allow me to roll away from this. Let me show you the absolute tragedy, disaster that is my office right now. So this is what it looks like currently. Yep, so the one bookshelf that is usually behind me to my right is broken down completely. All of the books are in reusable shopping bags. And on the white bookshelf, which is over here, which is usually behind me to my left, the one with the uneven shelves, that one has almost everything off of it. I've got some Bibles on there right now, some booklets, and I think about 5 copies of New Age Bible versions. So I do have several of those laying around. And of course, they're all the 2012 edition, so nothing spectacular. My 1993 and my 1995, I think it's a 1995, and the other ones, those ones are all stashed away. So, anywho, a couple other things that I want to show you guys real quick. This is a new design. It is currently the only design in our spread shop right now. I posted about it. Oh, sorry, Jacob. Did you trip, boo boo? You'll be okay. Where'd your apple go? There. I have this mounted to the back of the high chair, so it's a little unstable, especially when he trips on the leg. So this is the only design. And of course, it's the transparent one. So we're moving around behind it. Here's how it looks on a mug. That might be a little bit better presentation. So you can get that on anything. On the Spreadshirt shop right now, it is displaying as printable on shirts and a hoodie and a mug. So there's much more, however, that it's available on. Sometime I will give you guys a tour of our spread shop, which is not really something that I'm going to do probably for some time, because it's not a major outlet. But some people look like they're excited about that design, and much less busy than the other one. Do I have that? Yes, I do. That was too busy, too unreadable. You look at it at a glance and you see Bible devils, and so anyways, didn't communicate super well. Let's see. Oh, also a reminder, Friends of Gail Ripplinger group is not necessarily my main group anymore. If you want to connect with some of the research that we're doing in fact-checking Gail Ripplinger, and if you want to see a bunch of lively discussion that is going on, then feel free to join us over on Rebooting Gail Ripplinger on Facebook. That's where fact-checkers and defenders of Gail Ripplinger can meet professionally and discuss what was good and what was defective about her research, etc. It's about finding the truth, guys. It's not about promoting a person. It's not about showing Gail that she has a whole bunch of friends on the internet or anything like this. That's what the Friends of Gail Ripplinger group was for, and we're up to like 1,200 members. So that's more than enough friends for her to not feel so lonely. And now we're having to move on because of different certain situations and certain circumstances that have transpired over the last few months, about a year or so. So yeah, it's all been on YouTube, and it's not been pretty. And you guys are aware of that if you've been following the channel for any length of time. If you haven't and you would like an introduction to the basic idea of what's going on, then go check out this video. And yeah, carry on to episode 18, 21, and 22. And those are all on the live tab of the YouTube channel. Not everything is on the videos tab, so you go to my YouTube channel and you have the videos. If you want to see most of the videos that we do, we actually go live mostly. And that's over there on the live tab on the YouTube channel. All right, so I'll walk you guys through some of the stuff. So first things first, actually, I've actually been really excited about getting this. This is the first modern translation that has been in our house for a long time. Since I've been married, we haven't had a modern translation in our house. This is the first one. Why did I get it? This is the Net Bible Full Notes Edition, and the reason for this is because they give translator's notes, textual notes, and all sorts of notes on all sorts of stuff. This is an example of what one of the pages looks like. This up here is the actual Bible text, and then it gives notes about why they made their translation, any kind of textual variants, all this kind of stuff. And the reason they do that is to try to be the most transparent translation in history. Dan Wallace was behind it. I'm not aware of more of the other translators and stuff. Of course, it's not based on the Textus Receptus and stuff like this, obviously. But the reason why I got it is because it gives that kind of textual and translational background. It actually gives a lot of different reasons why other translations did what they did when they translated certain words or certain passages a certain way. And I think that that is a valuable resource to be able to look at those different things and be able to find out what the logic was and what happened. So like there's some verses that I'm particularly looking forward to researching, where the King James Bible actually seems to say something completely opposite from what modern versions do. And I want to look at those passages especially and find out why they translated it the way they did. So I'm looking forward to that. Very, very enthusiastic about that one. That's going to be fun. Of course, the first one that I looked at was Isaiah 14:12 and their reference on that. And I found that pretty fascinating too. That is being added to our website. The page is BibleVersionConspiracy.com/Lucifer, and that'll be published soon. There's a few more things that I want to add, and it's also going to have a disclaimer at the front, as will the Hermas and Barnabas page, that says that it's a construction zone, and there may be things laying in piles. There may be some debris to trip on. It's not pretty like I want it to be. It doesn't, none of the switch plate covers are up. There's still a spackle, buckets and stuff like this. So it's not great, but you can go in, you can look at it, you can see what we're finding, you can see some results, and you can see as we add information and as we change things to be the way that we want it to be. And also as we're corrected on different points that we may get wrong, then I want to be able to change those as well and be able to apologize and note it and everything else like this. So I appreciate you guys sticking around for all of it. So that was an interesting note on Lucifer on there. If you want to look at it for yourself, super easy. Go on your smartphone, Apple or Android, go to your store, your app store, go to Logos Bible Software and type in that you want to look at the Net Bible on Logos. And then there will be a note on the verse. I believe it's note number 23. If you click on that, it'll give you the full note as to why they translated it as "O Shining One" because that's actually, interestingly enough, what Peter Ruckman says the Hebrew word means in his Ruckman Reference Bible. He says the King James translators translated it, advanced revelation or what have you. I'll deal with his note later, more specifically. But he does say that the literal Hebrew translation is shining one. So, and that's the translation that the Net Bible chose. So, enough about the Net Bible for now. These are some books that I'm probably going to have on my shelf behind me when that comes in. It was a steal. Holy cow. So, I've had my eyes on a bookshelf because I think sometimes, and I'm like, I think I have too many books. And then I go, nope, it's the shelves. So this shelf, I want to be more of a background shelf. The ones that I've had so far have been laden with books, very, very densely populated. So moving forward, I want to have a shelf behind me that's more decorative. I've ordered some bookends, even a little fountain that you can put a plant in on the top, and it has a little light that shines on the water and it kind of shimmers. I've got a lamp stand kind of thing that's going to go on the shelf as well to provide a little bit of backlight, so that'll be good. I can't remember if that's the exact technical term, but anyways, it works. You know what I mean? And just make it look nice, and then have books with the books that are significant and reputable, and have interesting like spines and stuff like that, or I just need for quick reference, and keep those on the bookshelf behind me, and then have the rest like stashed like maybe on the bottom shelf in like some cubes or something. We'll figure it out. But this bookshelf was like $80 on Amazon, and I go to one day about a week ago. I go to Amazon to agonize about it a little bit more, because that's what I do. I agonize about things before I buy them, and like for a long time. Sometimes there's plenty of things in my save for later cart that have been there for years, and they're not even that expensive. Some books especially, like God's Library, I've had in there forever. I'd rather listen to that as an audiobook, I think. Just Passport to Magonia, that one I really want to get, but it's been in my cart for years. So I just really gotta bite the bullet and just order them. I don't know what my problem is, but anyways. So I go to agonize about this bookshelf, and I notice that there's one used like new for $8, and I'm just like, okay. So I ordered it, and I'm just like, even if it's in a little bit of rough shape, even if $8, even if I don't get it at all, $8 for a chance at it's like 90% off. It's like totally biting for that. So anyways, this book I've always found fascinating. It's got amazing illustrations in it. It's not necessarily written from a Christian perspective. Until I have a better one about dragons, maybe Dire Dragons will work. But Natural History of Dragons, or Dragons, sorry, A Natural History by Dr. Carl Schucker. That one has been a favorite of mine for many, many years, and I want to transfer that onto the bookshelf. Also, the cover is visually striking, and that's something that I want to go for the books that I do include. The Forgotten Preface by Joshua Barzon. I had a brief conversation with him, and I appreciate his spirit and his writing on the Forgotten Preface of the King James Bible. He actually brings up the fact that the King James Bible has its own website, and that on its website it is copyrighted, but it's copyrighted in Britain. So I guess if we're going to argue that, oh, God's word doesn't get copyrighted, then it's not the actual word of God in England. So anyways, but of course we're Americans. We don't acknowledge that kind of stuff. So of course you can copyright it, or you can't copyright it. You can publish it as much as you want in America. But anyways, Flat Earth book by Danny Faulkner, Falling Flat. Very, very scientific, sometimes just goes right over my head. I would love to discuss some of the parts with my brother. He's an aerospace engineer. maybe he'd be able to give me some insight into some things. But it's fascinating. He's also they also interviewed the guy that does the final experiment, where they went down to the South Pole and they saw the 24-hour sun. They went to Antarctica and they saw the 24-hour sun, and that is an absolute to the flat Earth, because you can't have an ice wall that goes around your little frisbee shaped Earth. You can't have that if you have a 24-hour sun, because the sun's going way over to the other side of the planet and you're not supposed to be able to see it. Flat earthers have said for years that there's no such thing as a 24-hour sun because the Earth is flat and there's an ice wall and all this other stuff. Problem is that it's true, and there is a 24-hour sun. Yeah, there's not many flat earthers that live in Antarctica, so but just think about that. All right. Oh, of course, Giggles, the Giganotosaurus, will be joining us on the bookshelf. The elusive Bigfoot is nowhere to be seen, but he'll be there. I've got David Daniel, not David Daniels, the Bible in English. I'll be putting that on my shelf just because it is a fantastic resource. And Gail, interestingly enough, Gail cites him as an authority, but she would disagree with him a lot. So, but she cites him when she sees fit, and I'm looking forward to double checking her references to him. My 12K, you guys may have seen this floating around on my bookshelf for quite some time. I got this flashlight out in Colorado. That's actually where I designed our second logo, the first one to incorporate the scissors and the gold and all that, and the Bible pages. I designed that in Colorado the first couple of days that we were down there, and I also got this in Leadville, Colorado, at the Ace Hardware there. It's not actually in here. You can see it is taking up its semi-permanent place on our dresser. Nebo makes fantastic flashlights. Let me tell you that. And 12,000 lumens is massively practical, especially outdoors at night. So very, very nice flashlight. They have an 18K now, which I'm saving up for in my mind. So but I don't, that's not the next flashlight I need. I love my flashlights. So anyways, I love shedding light on things. Let's say that. The story of the King James Bible, how it changed a nation, a language, and a culture in the beginning by Alistair McGrath. Gail also favorably cites this. I'm looking forward to this one especially because it's available in audiobook, and I can actually consume an audiobook. An actual print book is much more difficult for me to find the time and sit down and concentrate and read and stuff like this. What was it Tony Merkel said? The Confessionals app has totally changed. Now it's more of a social media kind of platform. It's fantastic. I love how it looks. And it seems very practical. I already have 2 followers on there. Really cool. So if you guys are actually a member of the Confessionals members group, then hit me up on there. Follow us, whatever. I'm planning to post some of our stuff in there, I think, because we do talk a lot about conspiracy stuff and it does relate. But yeah, we'll have to see how that works out. But Tony Merkel said, that's what I was getting at. Tony Merkel said that audiobooks are God's gift to people with ADHD. And I'm just like, yep, I probably have that. Alrighty. So that's the first one that I've shown you so far that has an audiobook format. I don't think Falling Flat does, and I'm pretty sure the other ones don't either. The Genesis 6 Conspiracy by Gary Wayne. I'm looking forward to listening to that in audiobook because it is available, and I am pumped to listen to all of it. He gets into some really, really deep, crazy stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. How secret societies and the descendants of giants plan to enslave mankind. And by the way, it looks like he used a low resolution JPEG for his cover, and I'm not impressed with that at all. The back cover is much more crisp, and I like it because you can actually tell that it's like, it's vector, it's text, it's lines. The front cover, you can see the pixels, you can see the I want to call them aberrations, but I'm not sure about the technical term. You can see like the clumpiness of the pixels around the letters, and I don't like it. Anyways, God's Secretaries. This is one that I believe Gale does not quote favorably. I'm looking forward to finding out exactly why. It's by Adam Nicholson. There are some reasons I already know about, but I want to read the whole thing. And that's one thing too. I want the bookshelf that I have behind me to be books that I have consumed and that I'm familiar with. So this is Timothy Aberino's Birthright, where he talks about the coming post-human apocalypse and the usurpation of Adam's dominion on planet Earth. So one thing that I'm thinking is going to be especially significant about this is how Christians perceive life on other planets, say, or other dimensions, or what have you. So that's going to be very interesting to dig into. I enjoyed and found the presentation that he gave on the confessionals. I found that interview challenging and thought-provoking. So I'm looking forward to getting into the book, also available in audio. Pulpit Crimes by James White. I really want to read all of that. It's got some highlighting in it from me, a little tiny bit, and then some highlighting from the person who owned it before me. So that one's going to go on the shelf. Shepherd of Hermas, a new translation and commentary from the Apostolic Fathers Commentary series by Michael J. Spiegel and Caroline B. Buie, B-U-I-E, looks like. So my wife gave it to me for Christmas. I told her that when she puts her name in the front, because she hasn't gotten to that yet, she's got to put like, go get 'em Tiger or something like this in there, because yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see especially since he's made a real study of it, to see a commentary on it and a fresh translation of it as well. There have been several translations of it in more recent years besides Lightfoot, and there was a translation before Lightfoot that sheds a lot of light on some of the things that Gale talks about. I'll briefly mention it. And I gave myself up to the beast, or give yourself up to the beast, or whatever Gale says. That citation in there, in the translation before Lightfoot, it says that he gave himself up to the beast. It uses slightly different wording from Lightfoot, I believe. And when I read that wording, I was like, oh, what he's doing is he's basically standing out in the open going, all right, tribulation, all right, beast, all right, trial. Christ is with me and I'm standing in his power. Let's go. And then it basically rushes up to him, lays down, and the only thing that's moving is like its tongue, and he walks right by because he is in the power of Christ. Gale doesn't tell you about that. Gale tells you that what the Shepherd of Hermas wants you to do is give up to the beast. Absolute trash. And a big fat lie from Gale Ripplinger. There's no real nice way to say it. I'm sorry, you don't like me to say that. What am I supposed to say when what she says is absolute total falsehood? And if she even read the text, then there's no way that she would have said that, which she did read it. What am I supposed to call it besides a big fat lie? Majesty by David Teems, a pretty good book. It actually talks a little bit about the homosexuality of King James, which is, from what he writes, it doesn't seem to have been what most people make it out to be. And he talks a little bit about how it kind of came about in his very young life. Very, very well written book. It very entertaining. It was it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Highly recommended. Uh, that's called Majesty: The King Behind the King James Bible by David Teems, Teems. That's one of my top recommends right there. Authorized: The Use and Misuse of the King James Bible by Mark Ward. That's going on my shelf. Also a very good read. I got all the way through that a few weeks ago. That has some amazing points that it brings up. It's got some of the false friend stuff in there. I'm looking forward to his next book coming out about King James words you don't know. That's going to be an interesting one too. The King James Only Controversy by James White. Just getting all the people that you hate out of the way right now. If you're a King James only person watching this, these are all the people that you hate. They're going on the shelf. Can You Trust the Modern Translations? This is the new copy that my in-laws got me per my request. Because the one that I had, I have all marked up all over the place. It's got, goofy faces drawn in the margin and, ragey expression faces in the margin with like fire coming out of their eyes and, green and pink and orange highlights all over the place and blue and just bleh, it's a big mess. So I needed a clean copy so that I could go back into it and really consider what he was saying, because there's a lot of places that I'm finding out that he was right. And I'm finding out also that there's a lot of places where he actually corrected Gail on factual problems that she had, which she corrected. And she never admitted that she had wrong. Like, oh, this verse, they took out this Greek word or whatever. And he's like, no, it's right there. And she was like, oh, and she took that out. Because she couldn't read Greek at the time. She even told D.A. Waite at the time that she couldn't. And do you really think that she's learned since then? She works with languages, and she's not a linguist. It's hard to tell exactly what she does. And you can read her entire bio on her book, New Age Bible Versions, or on their website, and you hardly learn a real thing about her that seems significant. Interesting too that they also call her G.A. Ripplinger on the website. Kind of weird. So, anyways, James White's book there. Jacques Vallée. Can't have a bookshelf without Jacques Vallée. Not a conspiracy shelf anyhow. Messengers of Deception. That guy's going up on the bookshelf, and also I believe he wrote Passport to Magonia, which is also going to be going on the bookshelf once I get that. That's going to be an interesting one. I think it might be about ultra terrestrials. I think that might be where he gets into some of that, if I'm not mistaken. Lucifer Dethroned by Bill Schneblin. Very good. And the appendix in the back, we actually made a video talking about the signs of satanic ritual abuse and things like this. That was largely based upon his appendix in his appendix. Yes, he had appendicitis, and we got the bag that it came out in. No. We went through the satanic calendar a little bit, which is appendix 1, and then appendix 2. There's a vent right underneath me, and I'm just like, I don't need the hot air in my face right now. Signs of possible abuse, appendix 2. Lots of signs in there. It totals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages. I'm also working my way through Kathy O'Brien's book called The Transformation of America. And fascinating first part with the guy's name was Mark. The second part is not for children. It's disturbing and it's disgusting. So if you can't work your way past the first sentence, don't even try, because it just gets worse. So, anyways, Snatched from the Flames by Nathan Reynolds. Incredible journey that he had. I've mentioned him several times on our channel. I've reached out to him about several things as well. I'm actually waiting to hear back from him on one thing. I don't know if you can hear my furnace or not. You probably can. But he has an interview on the Confessionals called Bloodline of Monsters. And you can see the full interview on his own personal channel called Nathan Reynolds on YouTube. It's really incredible. He was basically one of these programmed people, just like Kathy O'Brien, except he wasn't a slave to that level. He was actually a highly specialized infiltration and assassin. So, just incredible story that he has. New Order of Barbarians, lots of interesting things in there. Obviously, we have the whole audiobook on our channel. You guys can check that out. And that's the one that I actually have as our channel trailer. There's a little segment in here about how the Bible is supposed to be changed to fit a new world order. But the people that do notice the differences, the changes, they won't be enough to matter. That's a lot of the basis for this channel, and I think that Gail touched upon some of these things that may be being changed in modern translations, but I think by and large she missed it. And since she wrote New Age Bible versions and pretty much made a fool out of herself, and I'm slowly coming to terms with that over the weeks that I think about it and look into it and research it and just shake my head. Since she did all that, it basically allowed this psyop to just the psyop. It basically allows this program to continue, because if people are out there crying wolf all night long, nobody's going to wake up. This little book was written by me. I'm probably going to get a little stand to actually put it on. It wasn't written by me, sorry. The cover was designed by me. It wasn't printed by me, but it is Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones' How Can We See a Return to the Bible? And it is republished by TexanTranslation.org, not Texan. Not Longhorns and Walker, Texas Ranger, not that. TextandTranslation.org with Christian McShaffrey. So he had me help him out with the cover on that. It was an honor, and it was good working with him. Let's see. YouTube Secrets by Sean Cannell. I have that in audiobook. I haven't actually worked through it yet. I still have to start the YouTube classes that are... He's not. This is the second updated edition. I say that I'm looking forward to getting into a lot of these books. This one I have to, especially for the sake of this channel. I've learned a lot from Think Media and Sean Cannell. A lot of the reason why we're at 950 so subscribers. It's been fluctuating back and forth because people are subscribing and unsubscribing and all this stuff. But most of it is because of the advice and the tips that I've gotten from them. So shout out to Sean Cannell of Think Media. The Demonology of King James. You can actually pick up this entire book as a PDF. It is written by Dr. Donald Tyson. Silly boy. He's a silly boy. Oh, that has to stay there. So the Demonology by King James, it is available on academia.edu, I believe is the website. So if you look up the Demonology of King James PDF, it'll likely come up in the first couple of results. So I love the design. with the white letters heading up the initials of each word. It was I think the one that I liked the best out of all the ones that I saw. It's several editions of it, and it's also written from a very scholarly perspective, and it gives the full text. Um, it's a very, very interesting read from good old King James, and it also has some things to say about Lucifer, which Gail never talked about. So fascinating stuff, especially since she quotes from it so freely and in awe of thy word. And forgive the background noise. My son is enjoying the lid of this tote that I have these books in. And that's my wife whistling through her teeth in the background. Why does, well, you're laughing. So why does tittering? She's tittering over there, she says. So why does the waters is by Benson Bobrick, the story of the English Bible and the revolution it inspired. Another book that Gail references all over the place, up and down, all day, all night, twice on Sundays. Because it's the Lord's Day and you're not supposed to work, right? So it's only twice. Anyway, so it's an audiobook that I'm also looking forward to getting into. Just have to buy it. By the way, if you guys want to buy me any of these audiobooks, you feel free. But, you know, I'll basically be buying them as soon as I can. We've got about 3 books left, and then we'll be done with this part of the video. I don't know if I'll have a secret stream tonight, especially since it's 11:30, and I have to look at the files from Brian's graphics guys. So we'll have to see how that works out. I may also have to install a new version of Illustrator to actually use them. So we'll have to see how it works out. This is a book that I have found very encouraging, and I have to get back on it. It's by Chris Doe of The Future, and it's called Pocket Full of Dew or Pocket Full of Dough. Very well designed. I love his artwork, and it's basically an inspiration, and it has a lot of insights, and it's supposed to be something that you can basically take anywhere, hence the small size. It's really been an encouragement to me because my artistic nature and my passions and stuff like this have not had a lot of encouragement. I've felt kind of like I'm kind of an outcast, to say it nicely, I guess, for most of my life, pretty much. And there's a lot that this book actually says that helps to make me feel like I can do something and that I am capable of stuff. And, just, that I have some talent and something that I have to share. So there's a lot more in that there's a lot more in this book than that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. This book I've actually read. So out of all the books that I've showed you right now, I've only read completely anything that I had in an audiobook. David Teams, his book, and that's about it. Unless I mentioned something else. This one I read just before let's see, would have been back in probably 21 or so. It's called Start by John Acuff, and it's actually one of the things that really inspired me to get into making this channel to begin with. So those of you that have stuck it out into a whole 50 minutes of this video, everybody else didn't know this. All the people that checked out early, you're lucky that you stuck around, because this is one of the books that actually took me from, I should really do something about this, to really getting involved with this channel. I understand. My buddy, I know. Where's your apple? Where's your apple? Because I'm sad. So, yeah, he's also part of Dave Ramsey's team and all this stuff. Punch fear in the face, escape average, do work that matters, start. So, very, very valuable book as far as this channel goes. And I still have my binder clip stuck to it and some flyers that we picked up. This is actually a flyer for the advanced biostructural correction that I mentioned earlier. So just it really helped a lot. And at that point as well, I was becoming a part of the 1K challenge by Think Media. And I bought their classes, and I've been sitting on them for years, and I still need to do them. It's just hard to find the time, and the time needs to be found. All right. 2 more, and then we're probably going to call it quits, because I would like this video to be shorter. Kingdom of the Cults by Walter Martin, available as an audiobook. Wow, am I looking forward to that. And Bigfoot, Wildmen, and Giants by Dave Paulides. It is only articles from like the 1600s to the last one is 1923. Yeah, 1923. And it's all these scans of articles that talk about Bigfoot and what they called it. Mostly they called it the Wild Man. And also about like giant skeletons and stuff like this. The bookshelf is going to be loaded with some really, really good resources. And there's a lot that I'm not going to be including on it. You'll notice that there weren't any King James only books that I included. I'm trying to find ones that I want to represent on my bookshelf. It's not because of I'm trying to find the words for it. It's not because I think they're all stupid and crazy. The problem is that I have to go back through them and what's the word? Vet them. Like basically, look through them, make sure that there's any real worth to them at all. Because there's so many of them that have so many problems I'm finding out. And yeah, it's kind of a challenge to find a book that's written from a King James only perspective that is not geared toward divisive, basically hatred for anybody that disagrees. And I'm very favorably impressed with a lot of the writings of Brian Ross for that reason, because it doesn't seem like he's one of those guys. And he does a much more thorough job of research than somebody like, say, Sam Gipp or Gail Riplinger. So like with the King James text and typos and the word Easter, far outshone Sam Gipp's clumsy handling of that. So yeah, anyways, I think there's a couple that I may end up putting on there, but like I said, it is a challenge. It is a challenge to find a King James only book that I want to represent visually and say that I've read it and that I want to refer to all the time, and that I want to have standing behind me on my shelf. It's difficult. I think New Age Bible versions may go there, but it's hard for me to tell whether I'll do that or not. The main reason is because people tune on, they see it on the bookshelf, they are just going to assume possibly, oh, great. Bible version conspiracy. Oh, yeah, he's promoting Gail Riplinger. Oh, this guy must be a moron and all this other stuff. So, something like that, I'm like, maybe I don't want to include it on there. Although it is very pivotal. Seminal is not the word, probably. It's a very important work as far as the King James only discussion and development and everything on it. And there are some things in there that are helpful, but there's a lot of trash. And proving it is no hardship. There's literally a couple hundred examples that I'm able to choose from at any given time of something that's just wrong. So but it is important, and we deal with it a lot on this channel, so it does represent a lot of what the channel is. But the problem with that is that it's just so misleading. It's like, how do I really stick it on the shelf that I want to show the world? It's hard to do that. So, question of the day, and you guys can leave it down in the comments below. I'll check out the comments that you've left so far. I see there are 6 of them, I believe. Question of the day: What are a handful of books that you would put on the bookshelf that you want to show the world? Something to think about. And I'm having to think about it right now. So, trying to think if there's anything else that I should update you guys on. That's probably good. I would love to leave you guys wanting more. I really want to do a lot of shorter videos. These live streams may end up getting moved to Sunday afternoon. It's got to still remain a time when we can have the kids out of the way for a little bit. But then it also has to be not at a terrible time like it is right now. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please be praying for me, because I feel like I'm slowly descending into a period of burnout. Either that, or it's just the exhaustion setting in and just catching up to me. But we'll have to see. I appreciate your prayers. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and don't forget to read your Bible like the devil's after it, because he is. And there is a Bible version conspiracy. Have a good night, and we'll see you in the next one, unless there's some comment. Hang on. Hi, interesting. Here we go. And of course it doesn't show it to me when I pull it up. So you guys can read that. And now I will read it, if it allows me to. Now it'll let me read it. Oh boy. Anyways, as in Brian C. Ross, the author slash preacher. Yeah, out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I believe his middle initial is C, yes. Bunch of people saying hi. Maybe you tuned in at a different time there, kept pure in all ages. It says, do you happen to have a booklet by Martin Lloyd-Jones with a very attractive cover? I think so. Ah. There we go. I excavated it. Yeah. And the only reason that I'm going to have that on my bookshelf is because I made it. And any other covers that I end up making in the future, like the one that I'll hopefully be working on for Brian Ross, Lord willing, that's in the future. That'll be up there. Probably not the one that I'm helping him modify. Probably not that one. Hey, boo boo. But then yeah, probably the standalone textual transmission book. You wave into Dada. Hi, boo boo. Hi. Hi, boo boo. You are silly. You wave into Dada on the phone. Oops. Oh, I clicked on it, so now I can't see it. You waving. You waving. Alrighty, so let's. Who is evicting you and why? Yes, that was. What? Never mind. Just never mind. Yeah, not true. Already is. So I talked about that at the beginning of the video. So if you want to watch it back, then you're fully able to. Not actually being evicted, just having to change where I work out of, basically, as far as where we dwell. So, yeah, the studio is basically just getting relocated, shifted around, things like that. Alrighty. Who is... Yep. So that's that. And it doesn't look like there's any other comments, so you guys have a good night. I appreciate you guys being here and for tuning in this dreadfully late. So have a good weekend. Enjoy your Saturday and your Sunday. And there's not really anything in between those 2 days, so. Yep. That is definitely the last one. And co-conspirators, I am torn. If you want to jump in, please do. After the live stream ends, if you guys want to chat or anything like that, I'll keep an eye out for you. But yeah, if not, then that's just fine. Because like I said, I've got some things that I have to do before bed, and I gotta get up in the morning and go to work. So have a good night. We'll see you next time.